Hello everyone. Hello, welcome to the stream. Okay, so yeah, it's been a long time. It's been almost a week since my last stream. So yeah, I have been basically in a little holiday, and yeah, so I was traveling. I was visiting the Argentinian glaciers. I've been there for the first time, and it was amazing. Really great, beautiful, and yeah, that's the news I have for you. And yeah, so yeah, it's been a couple days, really yeah, not easy. But yeah, I also need to start getting along with my English again, and my stream schedule and everything. I'm a bit rusty, but that's fine. So let me check really quick. Okay, audio is fine. It's totally fine. And what else? So yeah, I returned on Friday, but yeah, I was doing a couple things this last couple of days, and I have been working on what's basically going to be my new layout or overlay or like format for the stream. I can show you really quick a little preview of what's coming. So yeah, basically I am doing all of this sort of like a new design for my stream. I am really I have made some really good progress on this. This is all on Figma, so I'm making everything here on Figma. And yeah, so I commented this before on previous streams. So basically I'm creating my new stream overlay and format and everything in Unity, so then I don't have to deal with like using Stream Elements or Streamlabs to get like all of the data from the follower count and the latest follower and all of that crap. Well, it's fine, it's great, but it's not really flexible. So what Unity allows me is to basically create all kinds of animations for my stream, which is really amazing. So you can imagine, if I have like my overlay made in Unity, I can do whatever I want, and that's the idea basically. So I'm doing that, and I have made some great progress on it, but it's really not close to be finished. I have to do a lot of things, and I think maybe in the next couple of months I will be or maybe next month I will have that ready to make the big transition into the new format and the new overlay and everything. I'm really excited. It's awesome. But yeah, So yeah, that's another set of things I wanted to talk about. And then yeah, so we can start recapping on what we were doing for Voyager. So basically this is everything we were doing. So we are currently working on the constellation system. So let me Voyager constellations, yeah. So let me go through this really quick. If you watched my previous streams, you will already know what this is. And also at the beginning of every stream from the last couple weeks, I've been talking about this repeatedly, because when I start the stream, I try to do a little recap of what we are doing. So, hey Lou, how are you doing? So yeah, basically, what we have been doing for the constellations, this is like the most basic part, like not basic, but the foundation of how the constellations work. Of course, in the future, the idea is that they are going to be much complex, much more complex, and yeah, with a lot of other stuff on top. But right now we have to basically finish creating the foundations of this constellation system to then be able to start prototyping like the core loop of the game. So first we have to work on this, the constellations, which is basically your world map in the game. You can go in, you can be or go into any constellation. So there's infinite constellations in the game, and each constellation is different and all of them are unique. So they are generated procedurally, basically. That's the idea. And when you start the game, you are in a given random constellation, and the constellation is basically formed or composed by a number of stars, okay, and each star has it's basically a planetary system which has a set number of planets, and then you are going to be, when you start the game for the first time, or when you start a new universe, that's the correct thing I wanted to say. So when you start a new universe, you're going to be thrown into a random constellation, like in a random planet, which is in a random star, in a random constellation. So, and then from there you can go to the other stars in the constellations, or to other constellations, basically. So yeah, we are basically trying to create this to say, okay, so what we're trying to define how the constellation gets created, gets built, basically procedurally. So first we need to define how many stars are the constellation is going to have. For this, we created this probability distribution curve. We have a set minimum and maximum amount of stars for the constellation. These numbers are fixed. So I have this defined. I found these numbers to be like great. So as you can see, this curve represents the probability of each number to appear, basically. So 3-star constellation and 7-star constellation are basically the the most rare. So 4, 5, 6, and 5 mostly are going to be the most common amount of stars that a constellation can have. So you are going to find like a really big amount of constellations that are that have this amount of stars, and then 3 and 7 are going to be more unlikely, but they have lower chance. And that can be something that could be something that we use to our advantage in the future or something in the game. We're going to see, but for now we made this. This is already done. Then we created basically a system. So when we are going to define the shape of the constellation, basically, we need to define the positions of each star in a set space. So this is basically a set space where the stars can be, and then each star can be in a random position. So for that, we created basically an algorithm that quantizes positions in a given space, and then each star will choose a position based on some rules, which basically when a star picks a constellation, what will happen is that all of the vertical and horizontal neighbors are going to positions are going to be removed from the list of quantized positions, and that will prevent us having, for example, a constellation that has 4 stars like this, or like this, which in some cases could be fine, but we're trying to avoid like stuff like that and just going to safer strats and algorithms for this just now, because we're at the very beginning of the implementation of this in the development. So we're trying to go like safe and create a really solid implementations of every system. So yeah, that's why we did this, which is also already done. And then what we're currently working on is basically the connections between stars, which is what the shape is basically. So this is a shape. We also talked about having like pre-designed shapes that we can define in some presets, for example, and that will be, for example, this is like a demonic constellation. It's just an example. We can do some creative stuff with this that will be really fun. So for this, we could use this. So for example, this demonic constellation could be really hard to find, like 1% chance of you finding this constellation, for example. And so yeah, that will mean that inside this constellation there's some kind of special planet or something like that. So yeah, that's the idea basically. So but right now we're trying to create an algorithm that defines the connections between the stars. So that's why so that's something that we already have in the system. It's already working, but we're having some issues with this, because like stars are being like positioned in the quantized space, and then they are like randomly connected to each other. So for example, first this one connects to this one, and then this to this, and then this to that, and then this to that. So what can happen is, let me just show you right now, which is something we're trying to solve. So you can see here, I have this little gizmo testing thing. And I'm basically saying this is for testing, like generating a constellation. So you can see, for example, if I say 5 here, I can generate a constellation, okay? So you can see I can generate constellations, stars get placed randomly in this space, and then they get connected. But sometimes this can happen. So you can see here, this star is being connected to this one, but the connection is going through this other star. So what I'm trying to do right now is detect this situation and say, okay, so if inside this connection there's like any star, then grab this connection and convert it to 2 new connections. So that will be from here to here and then from here to here. Okay. So let me just show you with a little drawing. So let's say, for example, we have like this connection like this. Okay. This goes through this one and that's not good. So what I'm trying to do is say, okay, so then instead of doing this, let's do this and this. So I'm trying to create an algorithm that does this. And yeah, that's where we ended up in the last stream, which was on Monday, previous Monday. So that's almost a week ago, and I have to refresh my memory. But yeah, so I have this little console logs to see what's happening. What I'm basically doing here is grabbing, yeah, so I'm trying to solve this with 3, which is easier to see what's happening. Let me just explain what's happening right now. So, so there's like, it's not really common for that issue to appear, but it can appear, and that's something that should never happen. So yeah, you can see in the 3-star constellation, there was one. I just clicked. Yeah, so for example, this one, I think that this connection should not exist, the longest one, because it's really close. I don't think that's worth it to be like this. And you can see like what I'm doing is basically this. I'm grabbing, I create one connection, which is this line, okay? It's connection between A and B, okay? And then I grab this star, okay, this position, and start creating connections, or vectors, I should say, from A to all of the other stars, okay? And then what I'm trying to look for is say, okay, compare this line, this vector, with all of these other vectors. And you can already see that, for example, in this case, here, this vector is really similar to this one. So in this case, I think what should happen is, if there's already a connection here, then this other long connection should be removed. But if hey, Chandu16, that is a game, yeah. What is this drawing software? So this is Leonardo. Let me see. I have a command for that. Okay, I don't have, but that's the name. This is basically a sketching software. You can buy it from the Microsoft store. It's really great. I use it for like laying down ideas and everything, because it has like an infinite canvas. You can see, like, I can zoom out like crazy. Oh yeah, no, this is not an A-star algorithm. This is basically, I'm creating a constellation system. So this, because my game has constellations, and I am trying to create the constellations procedurally. Unity, yeah, I use Unity. So you can see, if I press here, I get a random constellation, and I can have constellations from 5 stars, for example. So you can see like all of these really nice formations, but I'm trying to solve a really weird problem right now. Constellations. Sorry, my English is not the best. But yeah. So yeah, this is basically my system, and right now I'm trying to solve some issues I have with, like, let me see if I can find one example. So all of this have like really interesting shapes. Okay, so here's an example. You can see like this connection between the red dot and this black dot. You can see there's a connection that goes like over this one, and the idea is to basically do something about this and prevent this from happening. So in this case, the idea is to connect this to this one, and then this to this other one. So that's the thing we're trying to do, basically. So yeah, I'm basically explaining what I'm doing to solve that. So I'm using the dot product to calculate basically the value, compare the connections. I'm a web dev. Oh, that's great. I have really little idea of web dev, really. I have a web page, but yeah, I don't really know much about that. I have interest in building games. I did install Unity. That's great. So if you want some advice, but not sure what should I learn. Okay, so if you want to start learning how to make games, Unity is a great choice. You have many other choices for, like, many other engines. I'm sure you heard about like Godot, or I don't know, Game Maker. There's plenty of game engines, but I think Unity is really good for learning. I want to learn technicality first, then making good games that I actually can sell. Yeah, so that's great. I think so. This is my advice. Try to make really simple things first. So the idea is to start really simple and then start going like more advanced as you go. So the first thing, so you're already familiar with coding. That's great, because you know how to code, well, I'm assuming you know how to program. So you already understand how code works and how programming works and how algorithm works and all of that. So, and also thank you very much for the follow. So basically, I would say if you're not familiar with, like, for example, 2D physics, I would say just go into YouTube and search how to make a character move. So like a really basic tutorial of how to make a really like a square sprite in the screen move and jump, for example. That's the first thing you should do to understand how to basically how to handle objects in a space, in a 2D space. I would say also start in 2D before going into 3D development. And then from there you can see like what you want to do. So if, for example, if you want to create a platformer, then you have to search like, how do I make a character move and jump? And then you place some platforms in the space. So you place some squares with colliders, okay? Some squares, okay? And you have your little character, so a little square, and you basically need to, your first mission will be to make the character jump here and then jump here, and make, for example, you put like a trigger here, okay? Triggers are like colliders that do stuff when they enter in touch with other colliders. So this is a collider, a 2D collider, and then when the character enters the collider, this trigger, you just say, okay, level complete. So I think for starting, this could be a really good way of learning the most basic thing, which is making your character move, understanding what colliders are and what they do and how to manage them, and also making the character go from point A to B, and then you have a level, like there you already have a level ready to be played. So once you have that, you can then start learning, for example, adding like obstacles. So for example, then you can do, for example, okay, let's add some spikes here, okay? Then if the character falls here, then he respawns there. So he dies and respawns at the beginning of the level. And then after you learn how to do this, you can start learning, okay, how do I create an enemy? Okay, an enemy that only moves from one extreme of the platform to the other and then goes back and forth. Okay, so then you have an enemy, and then you can learn how to make your character kill the enemy by jumping on top of him, and then you have like some kind of interaction with the player and the enemy. So you can see like there's steps, and the more you progress through the development, you can see the more complex it gets. So yeah, that's basically my advice. Start with the most simple things, like creating a ground, okay, with a collider. Okay, so this didn't work. Create a ground with a collider, and then a character with a really simple sprite, just a square or a rectangle, and try to learn how to make this move and jump. So that's the first thing you should do. I got the idea. Well, great. So that's my advice. Also, this is just an example for like 2D like platforming games, but maybe you like for example, top-down games or strategy games or card games. So in each case you will see like where you have to start. Okay, so multiplayer is like way too far away from this. Multiplayer is much more complicated. Top-down 3D FPS. Okay, so yeah, like horror. Okay, for example, the good thing about just learning this is that, like, basically all of the games that share, all of the games that have a character and an environment where the character can move will basically share all of the same principles and all of the same technicalities at the core. So for example, in this case, you will learn how to make the character move by pressing left and right, okay? And then if you press up or maybe the spacebar, it will jump. Okay, and then, for example, if you are making a top-down game, then this is your screen or your environment. Let's say you have like a road like this, okay? And your character is going to be something like this. You can start with a sphere or like a circle. And for moving this, instead of using just left and right, you're going to be using all of the directions. So up, down, left, right, and also the diagonals. So for that, you're going to be moving, and you can also make it jump, but that's not something really common in top-down games, but you can see where I'm going. You're going to basically have a character, which is a sprite in the screen, an object, and that object is going to have a script, okay? So your code, which is going to be just a text file with all of the code that says, okay, if I press this, then move here, and if I press this other key, just move right, okay? And this is going to be attached to your sprite, to your character object. This concept of having like the player, the character as an object with the script that contains the logic and the everything for the character to move and make all of the actions, like do all of the actions. This is something that's you have to do for every kind of game. If you're creating a 2D platformer, then you have to also have a character and a script that goes attached to the character with the logic for the movement, for the combat, for everything, for the interaction. And also, for example, the character object is also going to have a trigger, so a collider. It's going to have a physical collider, and also maybe if you're making like a combat game, an action game, if your character can, for example, swing like a sword, like do an attack, you need to have like some kind of trigger to appear when you do the attack. So if that trigger touches the enemy, then the enemy is going to receive damage, okay? So that's basically some of the really basic concepts of games and how to basically start creating a character and moving the character in the screen. So yeah, I hope that helps. And yeah, basically you should be good by starting with this. I don't know if you are familiar with Brachis, but let me just write the name. Just search for, do you know any good courses for Unity? Okay, so I was just about to recommend like a really good YouTube channel. Just search for Brachis on YouTube. He is not doing Unity videos anymore. Like, he stopped doing Unity videos like a couple years ago, but he has some of the best Unity tutorials. He's really good. Like, the videos are great for people that's starting, he has some great tutorials. So you can search the Brachy's channel, and yeah, just you're going to find everything you need pretty much on his channel. So yeah, highly recommend that. So anyways, let me know if you have any other question, but I'm going to continue with with this. So what I'm basically doing here to prevent having connections go over stars, what I'm trying to do is use the dot product to check from this vector to all of the other vectors between this star and all of the other stars. So in this case, this is going to have like a really big angle. Well, not really big, but it's not tight. But for example, on this case, this is really close. So this in the dot product is going to be something like 0.9. So this is basically a value that we should have a threshold for, like defining, let's say, if the dot product is higher, equal, or higher than this. Okay, so higher or equal to 0.9, then in this case we're going to remove this connection. Okay, this connection, we're going to remove it and create two new connections, which is going to be this one and then this other one. Okay, so that's the idea basically. So that's what I'm trying to say. Right now I want to see here I have some logs, so let me just open my VS Code. Okay, so this is basically what I was coding for this algorithm, and I'm printing this in the console. So let me drink some water. Okay, so it's a good candidate. So I think what I'm doing here is basically I go through each of every star twice. Okay, so first I skip the first one because I'm connecting the current with the previous one. Okay, so if I is 0, of course there's no previous. So here I'm basically grabbing the indices of the stars to connect them. Then I create the new connection, and then I basically save the direction, the vector of the connection. Okay, then I have this. So for this connection, what I'm doing is basically I create the connection and then I go through all of the stars again, and I'm basically skipping both of this. Okay, so trying to skip the two stars that are being connected. So I basically skip that. Okay, and then here I say, okay, star position, other direction. So I create this. So this is the one I just created, and then I'm doing this. Okay, do this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and check in each of those, check the dot product between those two. Okay, which is basically like checking the angle. Is something similar, but I'm using the dot product, which is basically seeing. So the dot product, let me just explain really quick. If you have like a circle, so for calculating the dot product of two vectors, both vectors need to be normalized. So this is going to be a circle. I can't do a perfect circle here, but you can imagine it. And basically, if I'm going to check two vectors, I'm checking, for example, this one against, let's say, this. So the more perpendicular the difference is the value of the dot product is going to be 0, closer to 0. Okay, so if the vectors are completely perpendicular, they are going to be, the dot product of those two vectors is going to be 0. And if they are completely parallel, it depends on the direction. So if this vector is checked against this, for example, this is going to be 1 and this is going to be -1. Okay, so I'm not really great at explaining this, but you can imagine that all of the values in between are going to be going from 1 to 0 and from 0 to -1. Okay, so 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, blah blah blah. Okay. Also, this is really bad because, like, for example, this is 0.5. So exactly like at halfway between 1 and 0, of course, is 0.5. So yeah, what I'm trying to do is I've set a really high threshold. I don't know where I put it. I think here. So the threshold is 0.9. So this is the tolerance I have. I think this is 0.9, for example. So this is really close. I should use something like 0.6. Let's say 0.6. I think that should be fine. So in this case, let's say, for example, this. Let me do this. Okay. So if you compare, let's grab this. Okay. I did not want to do that. Let's grab this and bring this here. So if we use this being like the green one being the base vector and the other blue one being the comparison, if you compare the two vectors, you can see they're really close. So this I think is 0.95, okay, 98 even. So this means I should use like bigger numbers maybe for the screen. So this is basically higher than the threshold. Okay, so in this case, this connection should be removed. But this is really high, so I'm going to basically say 0.6. I'm going to use this value for now. We're going to adjust the threshold. But yeah, what I'm trying to see now is what's happening, because I'm trying to understand what's happening here, because it's still happening. So first, let me just read the code and see what I'm doing. So in this case, I'm skipping the two indices I grabbed for the connection, so the two indices of the original connection, and then I'm basically grabbing SC is start So SC, SA is star A, SB is star B, then SC is star C. Okay, let me just star A, star B, and then star C, just to be a little more clear about the namings. It's always a good practice to have really obvious names, explicit names. That's the correct word. That's the best thing you can do. So doesn't matter if the name is really long. Of course you have to use your creativity. Never use that search and replace thing within the editor. Oh, so that's really handful. So you basically click the variable anywhere, so you can see it highlights the variable everywhere where it's being used. So you basically press F2 and then write something, and then it changes everywhere. That's really handy. So yeah, that's great. You can do this also for classes. For example, if I have this, I can do this F2 thing for classes names, for pretty much everything that has like a defined name, and it's really useful. Did I say handful? Yeah, maybe I said handful. I wanted to say useful. Sorry about it. It's been almost a week since my last stream, and I have to practice my English a bit better. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, I have star C, which is basically grabbing the current of this loop. You speak English good, but little bit slow. Yeah. Thank you. And that's true. I speak really slow because I don't have like the I'm not really fluent with my mouth. I don't know how to explain that, but yeah, I think that's going to get better with practice. So for now, it is what it is. Your Spanish is also slow? No. My Spanish is really, it's normal. I speak like at a normal speed. So okay, I grab the current start position and I basically create a new vector from the current from star A to star B. So this is how you get a direction with a vector. And then I basically calculate the dot product of that of those two vectors. So I'm checking my dot product, my absolute, because as I said before, the dot product can be negative. So I have to check if this the absolute value is higher than the threshold. Okay, so if that happens, then I create new connections. Okay, I create two new connections, one from the starter position index A to J, and then another one from J to start position index B. And you know what, I'm thinking like maybe I don't need to do this. I don't know. Let's see what happens if I do this. I just create one connection. So what I'm doing here is we check this connection against this one. So in this case, this is higher than the threshold. So what I do is just erase this one and just leave this one, okay, and create this and this. So what happens if I only create this and not this? Let's see. Let's see what happens now. I also I'm trying to use 3 stars constellation to check this because it's easier. Okay, so yeah, it's happening, and also it can happen that 1 star is not connected. So yeah, that's not good. Okay. Okay. So I'm also checking if the connection is not repeated, which is also good, because it can happen that another star makes the same thing that calculates from here, there, and then it gets like a repeated connection. So the idea is that every connection is going to be unique and not going to be repeated. Okay, so yeah, that's the idea basically. So let's see what's happening. So candidate is basically this to this, okay? Other stars is this to this. Let me say other, just other. Okay, this and this, and then the dot product of that. Okay, so let's see what's really happening here. Oh yeah, so I also put some colors here. So we're here. So I'm setting the color. So white is for 0, then if it's 1, it's going to be gray, and then black. So I'm going to be doing this because it's confusing if I only use white, red, and black. It's not like linear progression of color. So here I can see more clearly. This is the first, second, and third star. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this ended up being fine. Okay, 2, 1. Okay, candidate is 2, 1. Okay, so 2 is black. Also, maybe I can just go here, and instead of doing this, I can just yeah, the thing is, I don't really know. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so anyways, let's try again. Okay, so 1, 0. So this is 1, 0. The other is 1, 2. The dot is 0.8. Really? Okay. Then, okay, but this worked. So, okay. So first candidate was 1, 0. The other was 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. And then, so for 1, 0, 1, 2, this is 0.98. Okay. So this one got replaced. with this and this. Okay, so let me just try something. Okay. Let me just do this dot, and then I'm going to say replace is going to be star position index A and J, and then J and star position index B. Okay, so okay, so now, okay, candidate is 1-0. Okay, so gray to white. Okay, 1-0. What the hell? Oh, I know what's happening. Let me just check this, because okay, so let's say yeah, I think like negative is never going to work, because like if I check to there, there's no chance that this is going to be like a star that goes between this. So yeah, I think I should not use the absolute value. Yeah, I think that's correct. Okay, I think so. Let's check. Let's see what happens. I was also thinking like when we find a connection, when we create a connection that it's not a good candidate, I think this connection should get stored in some other list that for like invalid connections, and then I think that's going to be great, because all of the connections that get created are going to be checked against that one, against that list, and say, okay, so this connection is the same as this one in the invalid list. So that's going to be another way of checking. So yeah, I think that's something we can do too. Let's see. Okay, so in this case, this should... I don't understand. How is this 0.7893522? How can this be point? Oh yeah. I think maybe this is a really low value. Yeah. So maybe this should be higher. Maybe 0.8 is going to be fine, I think. Let's see. Okay. let's see if we get okay. Okay. Okay, let's see with like a 7-star constellation. Okay, yeah, it's still happening. Okay, so let's... Hey, Spheric Formula. How you doing? Welcome. So... Welcome, welcome. So, I think we should try doing this. I'm good, thanks. How are you? I'm good too. Thank you. Working on my game, Voyager. Thank you for asking. So yeah, I think we should try doing this other list. So maybe I should create another list here. So let's say list star connection. Okay, so if it's connection, okay. So we create this list and we're basically going to say else. So this is going to add this connection into the real connections. And if the connection is repeated, I'm going to add 2 invalid connections. So this should also check. Sorry, I hit the microphone. Sorry. Is connection repeated or invalid? So first we check or I don't know what we should check first. I think it's whatever. It doesn't matter the order. Sorry. My English is not great today. Let's create. Oh yeah, I need to store this somewhere. So I should have this here. And what's the, yeah, so invalid connections that count. I should also clear the invalid connections here. I want to check if this is going to work at all. I'm not sure, but let's see. If connection equals invalid connections index I, return true. Okay, so first we check if it's the connection is basically invalid, and then we check if the connection is repeated. So that's the 2 things we should check. Okay. Sorry. So in this case, okay. Perfect. Okay, let's see what happens now. Let's see. I'm not sure. This should work, but I'm not sure. Also, let me just... yeah, anyways. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is really interesting. It's really, really interesting. This is really great. That's a really nice shape for a constellation. Really, really nice. So some of the connections are really like messy, I would say, but I think that's fine. I think that's fine. What I'm thinking is like maybe I'm thinking like the threshold should be maybe even lower. This one is really interesting too. So in this case, these two are really close, and I don't really like that. This one is really, really interesting too. Okay, yeah, it happens. It's still happening. Oh man, I have no idea what's happening there. So I'm guessing this is going to happen here again also. Let's see, okay, so this should not happen. What's happening here? Okay, candidate is 1, 0, so gray to white. Okay, this is one candidate. This is the candidate connection. Okay. 1, 0. So what happens? The other one is 1, 2. So the replacement okay, maybe it's something really simple. What I'm doing wrong, because here, okay, let me see. The candidate is the original one. Okay, so this and this. Then the other one we are checking is this against J. Oh, I see. So there's something wrong here, basically, because this is basically what I'm checking. Like, okay, give me one moment. So I think this is so let's say the connection is this. So 1 to 0. Okay, so the green aqua color. Okay. So this is the connection. What this is checking, this is 1, 0. Okay, so this is checking this, and the other possible connection is 1, 2. Okay, so then what's happening? 1, 0, and the other one is 1, 2. Okay, I need to get the logs again. Okay, this is fine. Okay. Okay, this one. Okay, let's see what's happening here. So first, 1, 0. It's always this one against this one. Okay, so 1, 0 is the connection. Okay, so this one. Then the other one is 1, 2. Of course, because this is what I'm checking. I'm checking this direction, which is from star A to star C. So that's I I think I understand what I'm doing wrong. So this is 1 0 1 2. Okay, 1 0 1 2. Okay, so then the dot product of this is 0.98. So the replacement should not be 1 2 1 2. Oh, you know what? I think I should be also checking the magnitude. The magnitude of both vectors. I think that's also something I need to check. Because like this, I didn't have this I didn't take this into account. I'm basically checking. I'm doing the check for this, for example, but like I think this is fine too, because if I'm checking this and I have like I want to create this other connection, I think this should also be like, this should not work either way, I think. So, but I think that the replacement should be based on the magnitude of both vectors. That's what I think. So in this case, the replacement is 1 2, which is wrong. That's not correct. That shouldn't happen. I think that's the issue. So here, when I'm going to connect this to the other one that's farther away, I have to check first. Okay, I have to check first if, let's say, if the connection there, the magnitude is bigger, okay, than the magnitude. If that's so, okay, I think it should be low, like, is this lower? It's not lower, it's like, I don't know what the word is, but that's fine. So I think it's smaller. So basically the magnitude has to be smaller. So in this case, you can see the magnitude of this to this is higher than this to this. So if the original is if this is smaller than this, then it should not get created. So I think that's correct. This is I think this is it. That's the solution, I think. It should work. I think, I'm not sure. So let's see if that happens again. Okay, so yeah. There we have some issues. Okay, so I also want the console to be clear every time I press this. So is this working at all? If I say debug.clear, clear the developer console. Okay, so this should work, I think. What happens if I just spam this? Yeah, it's not working, it's not doing anything. I don't know how to clear the console, but anyways, maybe I should do something like put like some logs, like 5 logs. like empty logs, maybe. So I can like see where the new logs are coming from, and I also don't collapse any of the logs. Yeah, I think that's useful. Okay, so how is this? This is going like, yeah, this is going down. Okay, so let's see if I get, okay, there, okay, here. I think this is the last one. Okay, so what happened here? There was one issue, which is weird. 2-1, okay, so 2-1. Okay. I think like there must be something I'm doing wrong. But let's see. So okay, so 2-1, this is the candidate. Okay, so why, like what connection? Oh, there is 2-0, so this is really, this is 0.9, 0.92. There's something weird happening with my dot product calculations. I think it's like so what if I, instead of checking, so what am I using for, yeah, this is a vector 2 int, okay. So, oh my god. I think I know what's wrong with this. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, I think I know what's wrong with this. Like, well, let me just check something really quick, because I think I'm doing something wrong. Like I'm doing the, let me just something. So vector 2 int, okay. Well, let's say just vector 2 a, new vector 2, let's say 0 1, okay. And then another one, vector b, which is going to be 0 x and 0. So let's do 0 0, which is a possible position. What's wrong with this? Oh yeah, so I have, okay, so VA and VB, okay. So let's say I have this, which is basically what I'm trying to check right now is I'm going to do something like this, okay. And just this, like this, I'm going to quantize this space. Let's just divide this 3 by, I don't know, that's fine. So this is 0 0, this is 0, sorry, this is 1 0, blah blah blah. Okay, so this is 0 1, this is 0, this is 1 1. So in this case I'm checking this against this, so I'm grabbing the direction is VB minus VA. Okay, so let's just first debug the direction. Okay, so let's see what happens there, because I think I'm doing the calculations wrong. Let's see. Okay, so this is the direction. Okay, from 0 0 to 0 1. Okay, so if I say, for example, from 1 0 to 0 1, the direction is going to be 0 1 2. Again, if I say 1 0, so this is the direction. So one zero zero one. So yeah, this is this is wrong, I think. So 0 2. What happens there? Let's see. Minus 1 and 2. So what did I do? 1 0 0 2. Okay, so 1 0 0 2. This is minus 1. What? Okay, so I'm really confused. What happens if I do float values? This should be what did this log? Okay, minus 1 and 2. So this is saying the direction is here and here. Okay, so this is giving me this, which I think is because, you know what can be happening? What could be happening? Minus 1 2. So if I do this, so I'm checking this minus this, which should give me this direction. Oh yeah, so it's fine. But why is this one not giving me the correct one, which should be minus 1 1? Let's see, 1 0 0 1. Let's see what this gives us. Minus 1 and 1. So let's remove this for a second, okay? And let's see what happens now. Minus 1 and 1. Minus 1 and 1. So yeah, this is fine. Like the direction is fine. It's totally fine. So this is working. So this is minus 1 and 1. Okay, so this and this, which is this direction. Okay, let's see if I go for example, like here against here, it should also be -1 and 1. But let's see. So this is going to be 3, like 2 2, and this is going to be 3 1. Okay. So let's do 2 and 2 and 3 1. Okay, and not use floating point values. So my hair is not great. I need to get a haircut soon. But yeah, anyways. Okay. So here 1 and -1. Okay, why? Why is this 1 and -1? Let's see. I'm doing 2 2, which is going to be this is 0 1 2. Okay, and 0 1 2. Okay, so this is 2 2 and 3 1. Okay, so this is 0 1 2 3 and 3, and then we have 3 1. So this minus this should give me this. So what's the result I'm getting here is 1 minus 1. So I'm getting this and this. What the hell? So yeah, I'm really confused of like what this is giving me. Let's do this like more like visually. So let's say let's do this here. So it's going to be done all the time. Gizmos.color dot let's use, I don't know, let's use green. Okay, so I'm going to comment all of this first. So I'm going to use green first. I'm going to say gizmo.line, draw line from vector 3.0 into VA. Okay, then I'm going to use another color and another. So yeah, so the color for the second one is going to be blue. Okay, and then the other is going to be red, and this is going to be there, which is the direction. So then I can understand what's happening, and I think I'm doing something like, I think what I'm doing wrong is maybe okay, yeah, so that's fine, that's totally fine. So I think this should be drawn from VA, because I'm checking the direction like from here to there. Okay, so let's see now. Okay. To VB. This is what I should be doing, I think. Now this is going to be connected. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. So how am I checking the stars' positions? I'm basically, so I have one position A and one position B, okay? And then I have another position C. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to I need to do this VC minus VA. Okay, so basically I need to draw first at VA, okay, and 0.1 is fine. Then I need to draw the other one, which is VB. We're going to use also here white, okay, and then gray, and then black, okay. VC. Okay, so I'm going to just draw the positions. So I'm going to say 4-1 in this case, okay? Okay. Or maybe let's say like let's say 1 is one star, then 3-1 is the other, and the other one is 3-3. Okay, so what will happen here? So this okay, so now let's do all of this. Let's put them like one on top of the other. Okay, so they are going to be aligned, okay, vertically. So, okay, all of them are aligned. So if I were to say gizmos.color, we're going to draw a line from VA to VB, okay? Okay. So here, that's perfect, okay? So this, the direction is going to be 1-0, okay? So not 1-0, but 0-1. So let's draw the direction. Okay, so let's use another color for this. It's going to be yellow. And we're going to draw from vector 0 left. So it's going to be at the left and to there, okay? Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, what happens if I say multiply this by 2? Oh, yeah. I should use like an offset for this. So it's going to be 0. And then vector 2 offset is going to be vector 2. Okay, vector 2 to the left. This is going to be the offset, so I'm going to see a plus offset. Okay, I can't. Okay, let's say just 3 vector 3 here, and 3 here too. So I'm going to offset this to the left. Oh my god, man. Okay. So, now we should see the yellow line at the left. Okay, yeah. So, so this is the direction, okay? So this minus this is going to give us this direction, okay? That's fine. So if I compare... Okay, now let's draw with another color. Let's say blue from BA to BC, okay? Now this is going to have a line from the white circle to the black circle. Okay, perfect. So now what I need to check is basically the dot product between there and there B, okay? Which should be, let's say, normalized here and normalized here too. So this should be 1. The dot product of this should be 1. Okay. Yep, it's 1. But what happens if I go here? Yeah, I should put this inside of this so it doesn't get printed all the time. So what happens if I move VC 1 to the right? Okay, what happens there? We're going to see. We're going to see what happens. Okay, so you can see now that this is completely vertical and this has some angle, okay? So if I do this, this is 0.89. Okay? Okay. So if we say now, instead of 1, we say 2, let's see what happens. If this is 2, then the dot product is going to be 0.7. Is this going like, let's see, 3? I should serialize this. So this could be really much faster, but we're going to see. Okay. .7 again, or okay, so yeah, now it's 0.5. 55. Okay. So let me just serialize another thing here, and VC pos. Okay. So VC pos is going to be VC pos X. Yeah, I could just, doesn't matter. Let's see what happens. So now this is down. Okay, so what, the dot product is -1. Okay, if I do this, let's say 1, how is this? Okay, -0.7. If I say 1 here, what's this? 0. Okay. If I say 2, 0.7, 3, 0.89. This is 4.94. Okay, so I think so let's say 2, this is 0.83, really? And there, yeah, I think what I think we should do is, the farther away this is, maybe this should be calculated, the dot product, depending on how far it is, I guess. Because if I say 1, 4, this is going to be 94, which is not bad, really. But if I say 3, this is much farther away. Okay, 89, and there is going to be 0.7. Okay, 3, this is going to be 0.5, 4, 0.4, 5, 0.3. Okay, so if this is 2, this is going to be, yeah, this is 0.7, 2.4. Okay, so the issue is this: if this is like really up there, for example, let's say 6 and this is 2 or 1, here it gets like really close. So I see what the issue is. So if this one is really close, so if the distance, now the thing is, how do I measure the distance from this one to both? Like I should, yeah, that's what I was saying before, that maybe I need to check the magnitude of both. And if the magnitude is really close, for example, if the distance, let's say 1, 2, like the magnitude of this 2 is close, so in this case, this is not bad. But as we go like further up, this is going to get closer and closer, which like yeah, should not, in this case it is 0.97. which should not be an issue for this, because like you can see, for example, let's say this one is 5. Okay, so let's say vector B is also on 5 at the same height. The dot product is going to be also 97, but this is fine. This should not be an issue. So I think that's one of the things that's causing the connections to be really close together. So let's go here and just comment all of this and go back here. Okay, like this, and let's go here, and I'm checking if the magnitude is, yeah, so I should, what I should check is basically, so okay, let's go back here, and instead of checking this, I should check the magnitude. So debug.log, let's say what's the so their dot magnitude and their b dot magnitude. So we're going to check the both magnitudes and see what's the best for both. So let's see that. So in this case, the magnitude is 4 and then 4.1. Okay, and if I say like this, for example, this is 4 and 3.1. But if I go like this, what's the difference? 17, okay. So I should basically say like, I guess it should be, yeah, let's just do one big log for this. Let's say dot equals this, and then magnitudes equals this, and then their b dot magnitude. So we're going to basically check the magnitude of both and also the dot product. So we're going to check, let's see now. So dot product is 99, and the difference, okay, so maybe I should equals their dot magnitude minus their b dot magnitude. So and this should be the absolute value. Okay, so now I think I'm close to a possible solution for this, which would be great because we're close to the end of the stream. So the difference is 13 here. But what if I go a bit lower, like this, and start again? So 98, and the difference is 3. Okay. So let's go like this. Okay, the difference, this is 97. Okay. But why? Why is it so close? The dot product. Like, should I normalize this? Maybe I don't need to, but like, I don't think that's correct. I think that's going to throw some weird errors. Not errors, but values. So this is 16. Yeah, that's weird. If I go like this, well, 16 again, okay. this 16. Okay. Yeah, it's like not working at all. I need to normalize this. So I think maybe I need like, what do I need for this to work? So this is going to be, yeah, I think I should like do this maybe, and like do VA, VB, VC. Vector 2. Okay, so we're going to use this as vector 2, vector 2, vector 2, vector 2, vector 2, and vector 2. Okay. So, okay. So VA is going to be 1, then this is going to be 2, and 1, or maybe 0, and this was going to be 1, 3, for example. So yeah, we're back to what we had before, and 0.89. What if I go like 3.89 and 94. So yeah, like I think what's happening here, so this should not be like something, so this is above the threshold, but this should not be an issue because like those are really far away. And the thing is that maybe I should check like the distance. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking like maybe I should use like a different method for this. So instead of doing the dot product, which is basically not working, I should maybe like I should maybe grab the, yeah, I know what I should do. I think I should like check basically the distance from this to this plane, basically, I think. Yeah, I think that's what I should do. Check like every star against this plane, so basically rotating the plane, like it's not rotating but transforming the plane to this, and check this distance and say, okay, if it's like, I don't know, less than 0.1, I don't know, that's just if that's the case, then we just create new connections. So I think that's going to be a much better solution, I think, but I don't really know how to transform this like this plane into this, because like this is going to check here like with all of the stars, like it's going to say, okay, how far are you from this? and you from this, and you, and you, and you. Okay. So also, in this case, this is like in the y-axis, this is like lower than this. So in this case, this should not be also an issue. So yeah. Okay. So I think that's what I should do. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this. I know I can do some transform plane or something like that, but yeah, I don't have time for that right now because I have to end the stream right now. So yeah, sadly we didn't get to solve this again, but I think we're going to be able to solve this in the next stream, which is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or maybe Tuesday. So yeah, this is going to be the stream for today. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to join the Discord if you didn't already. You can get notifications for when I'm live there, and also you can share your stuff, your art, your music, your games, anything, and you can also get some feedback from me or from the community. And yeah, so that's going to be the stream, and thank you very much and see you in the next one.